Suppose it were possible to transfer from one mind to another the experience of another person.
Hey, there it is.
Any person, any experience.
I'm telling you, it works.
The test, sound, taste?
Everything,
Smell.
everything, 100%. In fact, better.
Did you have a breakthrough or not?
Yes.
I'd like a demonstration. Knock my socks off.
What about military applications?
Wide open.
Missile guidance, that kind of thing?
They're going to be able to plug right into the old noodle.
I made that for you.
What is it?
It's me.
You've blown communication as we've known it right out of the water. You know that, don't you?
So something happened to me. It was more than just a sexual fantasy. It was a feeling I had. I'm more than I was, Mike.
I'm scared. But the thing is, I like it. I want more.
No, I can't authorize this.
It's a chance to take a scientific look at the scariest thing a person ever has to face.
This is not the research we're interested in.
This is my project. I don't want to see it end up on some defense scrap heap before we know what it's really about.
I want these personal experiments stopped.
I told you I want to play it out.
Nobody plays that tape.
Arrest him.
They're onto us.
Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to another movie review. And this review is going to be on Brainstorm, released in 1983, which stars Christopher Walken, Natalie Wood, Louise Fletcher, and Cliff Robertson. And the film was directed by Douglas Trumbull, and Douglas Trumbull, he was a very good director. Sadly, he's no longer with us, but he created scenes in 2001: A Space Odyssey. He was a pioneer, innovative in special effects and film special effects. He created scenes for, like I said, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Blade Runner, and he also directed a film that I really enjoy and I think is very underrated called Silent Running with Bruce Dern. But Brainstorm, this is the Laserdisc here, and I just got done watching the film, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good movie. Christopher Walken is very good in the film. Natalie Wood, this was her final film, because she passed away, I think, after she was done filming her scenes for the film, because they filmed this in 1981, and the film came out 2 years later after she passed away. And pretty much basically what the film is about is it follows Michael Brace, who is played by Christopher Walken, and Lillian Reynolds, who is played by Louise Fletcher. Both of them are researchers, and they developed this system that allows, the record and playback of a person's thoughts onto videotape. And how they do that is this is the system that they use, At the beginning of the film, it's like a helmet that they test out, but this is the system right here, this little device there, which allows them to see a person's thoughts, where they play back and videotape it, and they record it. And pretty much basically this project gets out of control because Christopher Walken's character and his colleagues that are working on this system, they begin to use technology to explore like these different experiences. Like there's a guy where he uses that system, and he has like sexual thoughts, like he's with like this woman that we see, and also it also causes like near-death experiences. And the military knows about this, and they move to hijack this system for their purposes. And Christopher Walken's character doesn't like that, and pretty much Alex Turson, was played by Cliff Robertson. He wants to take the project away from Christopher Walken because of all that stuff that is happening with the system. So Christopher Walken's character tries to outwit Cliff Robertson's character and the military to stop them from taking this system, this project, and just doing their own stuff with it. And he gets help from his wife, who is played by Natalie Wood. And pretty much that's basically what the plot to the film is about. But Christopher Walken, I thought, like I said, he did a good job in his role. He's a researcher just trying to develop this system to, play back and record, a person's thoughts. And Natalie Wood, she did very good in her role for her final film role for this. And I thought they had pretty decent chemistry with each other, Christopher Walken and Natalie Wood. Cliff Robertson, I thought, did a good job in his role as Alex Tierson. I think that's how you pronounce the character's last name. But I was just intrigued with the story. It's a very cool premise, of this system, trying to explore, people's thoughts through playback and recordings, and they're projected through videotape. And the film has, very cool special effects, which some of you might probably say they look dated, but for its time when it came out in 1983, it was very good effects. And I really like the effects at the end of the film, where Christopher Walken's character is in this phone booth, and he has the system on him, and they end up playing the tape, and he ends up witnessing the afterlife, and he's then traveling from Earth and through the universe. I thought that was very cool special effects there. And he also has these visions of angels, which looked pretty cool. But Brainstorm, if you haven't seen the film, definitely check it out. I think it's a very underrated film, in my opinion. Another Douglas Trumbull film that I think is very underrated, along with Silent Running. But the film had a troubled production because it was nearly discontinued because of Natalie Wood's death. Because, of course, we all know, how she passed away. She ended up drowning. And it said that Natalie Wood had already completed all of her major scenes before she passed. But due to mounting financial problems that MGM had, MGM took Natalie Wood's death as an opportunity to terminate the already troubled production. And Douglas Trumbull ended up saying, when she died, all the sets were locked and frozen on all the stages at the MGM studios, I think. No one could get in or out without special permission while all the negotiations took place. Trumbull believed that financially cash-strapped MGM simply got cold feet about providing the remainder of the funds to complete Brainstorm. Trumbull ended up saying that MGM's problem was that insurance institution Lloyd's of London, when it took the positions from me and other people, realized that the film could be finished. Why should they pay an insurance claim for something that really wasn't damaged goods? He ended up saying that when MGM refused to pay for the film to be completed, Lloyd's of London provided $2.75 million for Trumbull to complete principal photography and an additional $3.5 million towards post-production. Meanwhile, other studios showed interest in buying Brainstorm from MGM to release as their own production. MGM decided to allow Lloyd's of London to offer the film to many of the major studios in town, said Douglas Trumbull. Several of them made bids to MGM, and the studio suddenly realized that a lot of other people in this town were excited about the film and were ready to put up millions of dollars. MGM figured they looked like jerks if they let it go, and it turned out to be a big success. So they finally decided to work out this deal where Lloyd's of London would put up the remaining money and become a profit participant. Trumbull proceeded to complete the film by rewriting the script and using Natalie Wood's younger sister Lana for Woods' few remaining scenes. And of course, at the end of the film, after the credits, the film carries the dedication credit to Natalie. That's a little trivia there, that the film had a very troubled production. And for the effects, MGM withdrew its plans to release the experimental picture in a new format because Trumbull did a show scan 60 frames per second on 70 millimeter, and Trumbull instead shot the virtual reality sequences in 24 frames per second in Super Panavision 70 with an aspect ratio of 2:1. The rest of the film was shot in conventional 35mm with an aspect ratio of approximately 1:7:1. That's how they did the effects of the film. The film opened on a small number of screens on September 30th, 1983, with very little publicity, despite being lauded unofficially as Natalie Woods' last film. The film was not a success at the box office. It had a budget of $18 million, and it only grossed $10 million here at the box office. Because of the immensely troubled production and disagreements with MGM, Trumbull opted never to direct a Hollywood film ever again. And yeah, this was the last film that he directed. He kept saying, "I have no interest in doing another Hollywood feature film. Absolutely none. The movie business is so totally screwed up that I just don't have the energy to invest 3 or 4 years in a feature film. Movie making is like waging war. It destroys your personal life too. The people who can survive the process of making films have largely given up their personal lives in order to do that, just because it's such a battle to make a movie, and in doing that, they've isolated themselves from the very audience that they're trying to reach." So Trumbull ended up stating that in a 1983 interview. And of course, in 2013, he explained that the uncertain circumstances of Natalie Woods' death were the main reason for this decision, and he later returned to filmmaking. So after this film, he just directed some shorts. But if you haven't seen Brainstorm, definitely check it out. Very good movie. Anyway, that's it for my review of Brainstorm. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all later tonight with the Monday Night Raw review. So, see you all later tonight.